Okay, nothing yesterday. I was kind of busy yesterday, but today, last night and today I made this. It's rough because I discovered something. Um, when you put hot glue around a distance that much, when you put your LCD screen on, this is off a TV, it grabs like that, and you have no chance of moving it again. So it's kind of crooked, but it'll do all right for the purpose. If we're calculating the volume, so I need cubic inches. So this box, the internal dimension is 5 by 5. So that means that every inch going up is going to be 25 cubic inches. So 25, 50, 75, 100, and so on, right up to 275. So I thought that's a good idea. And then I thought, right, what am I going to fill it with? Because I see guys online and they make these and they use rice. And rice seems kind of attractive, but then I thought to myself, you know what, that's not right. That's kind of immoral because there's people starving to death who can't afford to get rice, and even people are in our own communities who are suffering from food shortage. So, and I also hate seafood wastage. So I thought, what else have I got? And a miracle appeared in front of me called buckets of sawdust. So I can just fill this up and see where the line comes to. And I know I've got in there about 80 cubic inches. So it's a nice handy way to do it, you know. Now onto the urn. That's that bit done. So onto the urn now. I was doing measurements here. Now I need 126 cubic inches. Now when I measured the urn at the bottom and then transferred that to the inside and took radius of 2 inches, 2.5 and 2.75 going up the vase where it widens, that leaves me with 151.8 cubic inches. So I've got plenty of space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to narrow the bottom. I'm not happy with the bottom, so I'm going to take some more out of the bottom to make it a bit more elegant. So I'll do that today, and then we'll take that later. And somebody might notice something here. Those are diamond painting pens, and that will be another project someday. Alright, bye bye. Okay, I'm going to show you something here. I've just taken the bottom in there a bit, and you can see there's a wee bead there now, and I've sloped that in towards, because that's what's going to happen up here. The slope's going to go that way up at the top, so I'm kind of match this here with what's going to happen at the top. A wee little bead there just to break that junction there, and I've taken that in. I've only taken it in about another quarter of an inch, but it's made a big difference to the profile. But look at this here. Look how torn the grain is. I've been scraping that because I didn't want to cut it. But there's a difference when you sand it. And that's only sanded to 80 grit there. I started 60 because it's so rough. That's 80 grit there, which is, let's see that light there. Give it a bit more. No, that actually makes it worse. But you can see the difference in the grain. That's what's coming off the tool. Now, even when I'm cutting with the tool, it's still not. It's about there. That's about the finish you get cutting with the tool. But that's scraping. And it gets worse. It gets worse like that. But that's about the best I'll get cutting there. But this is what it's like sanded, so it's going to come up lovely when it's done. It'll be really, really nice. You know, you can see some lovely stuff, lovely grain in it. You know, so that's where we are, folks. I've just taken that in. You would hardly, well, if you look at the other videos, but you see it just makes it a bit more elegant at the bottom. And I've still got this big lump here, but it's not going to be that size. That's my waist I'm allowed, so to give me a bit of room to manoeuvre at the bottom. But I'll not be much deeper than about here, probably about maybe 5 centimeters, 5 millimeters or 6 millimeters, 10 at the most. So that'll be it. Okay. Right, there's been a bit since the last time I was talking to you. I've got that sanded, but I had to cut it again. I'll explain that way in a minute. So I've put that end, a chuck on that end, and I've got a chuck on that end as well, which means that when I separate this, those two things are in a line, so it'll match up again. And it also means then I can put this on the headstock and hollow it out, this bit here, and then follow this first, set it aside, hollow this, and then put the both back on and stand them back together again. This is where they join up together in here, okay? And the experienced one, if you will notice, I've made that very deep. But the reason is because, do you remember the little mark that was up here, a little dent? Well, I discovered, taken it out nearly, I think it's completely gone now. I discovered that was going to be a problem because if you look here, that's the join line. The two sides are going to meet up again. Okay, forget about that there. But it's going to look like a join line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another line here, and then I'll disguise these two lines so you won't know which. There'll be two lines, but you won't know which one's the cut line. And it'll have the knot in between. So that's very fortuitous because it's the only place I could put it. But it also means I had to narrow this down because of that knot up there, the hole. I want to scoop in here, but I can't scoop in there because of that hole. And that there would have been down here. And it meant that you'd have been coming straight off the cut, you'd have been coming straight off the join and into the slope. And I don't want to do that. I want a wee bit of space and then do the slope. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here. Now, I have cut about 1/4 of an inch in there. That there is fairly close. You can see there. Maybe can you see the top of that? Yeah. I wonder see. I can see here. They're not far off. They are pretty close together. Actually, you can see. I wonder can you see that? Yeah. You can see there. They're not far off. They're pretty close. But it means that whenever it comes to me having to blend this at the end, I've got plenty of beef in there that allows me to blend this whatever way I want. You know, and there's still plenty of room for hollowing out. Now I've made that fairly wide because I wanted a fairly big tenon. This is going to be glued together for good, so I want a good deep tenon. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. This way is this going. Yeah, the tenon's going to be here, so I'm going to cut this, but I'm going to cut just very slightly off this rim here at the start, because I'm going to leave a little tiny line there that'll be the same thickness as that tenon. So it means that whenever I come to hollow this out, I'll know exactly where to cut to match this here, and then I can sneak up on it from there. If you don't do that, it means you're cutting, fitting, but that gives you a much closer representation because it's exactly on the edge of your tenon. So what I'll do now is I'll just take a wee piece off that there. Now I might have to go in front of you here. I hope not, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't have to. I need to turn this around so that I can see what's happening. Oh no, I think we're going to do all right. Yeah, so I'm just going to go in here. I'm up against the side now, so I'm just going to come out about 1 mil. Now, what I'm not going to do is, I'm not going to cut any further now, because I've got a really nice sharp edge there. Turn this off. I've got a really nice sharp edge there. I've got my wee mark. You can see the wee mark. If I just move you over here a wee bit and bring you around, you can just see the wee mark there on the inside of that. Well, I can see it, but maybe you can't see it as well. But I can see the wee faint line, and that's all I need to work on that. So then, what I'll do is then, whoops, daisy, I need to come back right again. Yeah. So then I'll cut this with a saw now, because I don't want to put pressure on the inside of this, because whenever I do that, this is going to go plump to a certain extent, and I don't want to damage the holes in the chuck. So I'll cut this with a saw, and that'll be it done. And then the next thing will be start hollowing this. Now, as you can see, the surface here is really bad again here. So before I do that, I'm just going to sand this a wee bit. Do you know why? When you're working on this, you put your hand on it to stop, and that's real good stuff for getting into your skin, you know. So I'll just give it a wee quick sand with 60, just take a rough off it, and then we'll do a bit of hollowing. So that's where we are. Right, so I changed my mind. I'm going to actually cut part of the collar now, because I was thinking I'm going to have to shape this eventually, and I might as well do it now while it's in one piece. It'd be much easier to get it done, and then it's easier to put it all together, you know. So I'll just show you a wee bit of that now. So I've just taken some off the top here. And then I'll blend up from bottom. A wee tip, if you don't want to make a big mistake, use a small gouge. This, you can see this one here. I don't know if it's showing up on that or not. I need to go and turn the camera around just so that I can see what you're seeing. If you look at this little gouge here, you can see that I have sharpened it right up the shaft. I've had to grind it to get it into the sharpener. But I've had that from the start of turning about 15 years ago. It's a fantastic, it's a any turners I should know it's a Henry Taylor Dynamic 3/8 inch round bar spindle gouge. That's a brilliant job. You can hear the tools skipping that a wee bit. That's because it's not completely soft. It's not completely smooth. I'm just going to check and see what's happening. See, touching the wood, that's where you get the scallops. Right, so I've got a wee bit of tear out there. Oh, there's a knot here, but it's cutting beautifully. So that's okay. So we're starting to get there now. I'm going to bring that in a bit more. And what I'll do is I'll take some of this off as well. You don't want to take too much off because you can't put it back on again. So if not, we got this now. And what I'm doing now is I'm starting to shape this one as well now, because this one has to come up and this one has to come down. You can see here in this one. Don't lean over a working lathe, eh? Excuse me. You can see on this one here the way you come up and there's a wee bead and then back up again. So I'm starting to get this bit here sorted out now. I'm glad I lifted that because I forgot about the wee bead and bun. That wee bead's a little lopsided, but it's giving me something to aim at. What I'm doing, I'm moving the bead up now. No, not like that, but that's okay. See, all okay. And see, this is all wood turning is. It's just, in this case, taking away all the bits that don't look like an urn. So we're starting to get somewhere now. And actually I'm getting more confident as I go on, because these are wee bits I was dreading doing, because I've had so much problems in the past. But I'm really enjoying this now. I think I'm a bit flat on this side. So that'll do. I'll give you an idea of what's going on. So the next thing I do is, the next thing will be a big handsaw down the middle, and I'll take this off. And next time you see it, it'll be one piece in the middle. Okay. I'm also enjoying making these little videos.